So this is a raga called Miyaki Todi. It's my great fortune that I just turned towards this, and this is called the Buddhist king of passion, Raga Raja. So the Buddha constantly advocates us to give up raga. Chetva ragancha doshancha tato nibbana mehissi, he says in Pali in one of the suttas. So when you give up attachment, and raga is the word for love, for passion, and also for the structure of the music that I'm singing. So this raga is called Miyaki Todi, conceptualized by Mia Tansen in a particular way. And I am offering you the first teaching of the Buddha that he sang, known as the first noble truth of suffering. Everything is dukkha. You'll keep hearing the word dukkha. Dukkha means grief, it means stress, it means sorrow. It also means stress in words and the rise and fall of stress in a poem, in a song. Maranam is death. Vyadi is disease. Maranam pi dukha. Maranam सुपायासापि दुःखै अप्येहि अप्येहि सम्पयोङ्गं दुःखो अप्येहि सम्पयोङ्गं दुःखो पियेहि विपयोगो दुःखो यां पितां न लभति यां पितां न लभति तं पि दुःखं संकितेन पञ्चु संकितेन पञ्चुपखण्ड दुःख संकितेन पञ्चुपखण्ड दुःख So that is his first teaching. Everything is grief. So how did he get such a mass following for saying everything is grief, and how we need to move away from it is the rest of the Dhamma. How do you not get attached to joy or to grief and such tough things, the middle path. So this is the first. How are we doing with time, Padma? Pretty good, okay. And for me, my relationship to the Buddha comes through two other figures who are Kabir and Ambedkar. So within this limited time, I'll try to, usually we do a long alap, and so I did something which is like using the words to meditate on what he said. So it's like using words to think. So if you look at the raga, it can be put into any container. It's like water, right? So same raga can be fun also. What is it except repeating of a phrase? Like you see in a carpet, the same pattern is here. What is tananananum? It's nonsense. It's syllables which are consonants rubbing on vowels. Without vowels, there won't be music. And this is a mirzab I'm using. I stole it from my sitar friend, Dard Newman. I use a spoon, I use anything, found objects. And I don't have practice with this clearly. And there's pure exuberance in a sad raga. So, what is the emptiness or the nirgun that Kabir is talking about, which relates to? If Kabir says, "Oh, I saw something, I can't tell you," and then he'll tell you 5 things, beautiful things about it. Buddha is also can be accused of the same crime. Oh, everything is a void, everything. Then why do you write so much about it? That is where the relationship between form and we're all in some kind of form, right? This is a form. This is made by a person called Akhtar Bai in Meerut, which is in Maharashtra. And once you put words into these syllables, then politics begins. You'll say, why did you put that word? Why did you put Narayan? Why did you put Shiva? Why did you put Allah? What are the words that you put? So I can choose my words, right? What are the possibilities? Infinite. I can keep going on. We have 20 minutes. So the number of notes and pauses. Then you start questioning association of word with sound. Why is sa called sa? Why is re called si? Re. And when you don't enunciate the notes, then it's and I'll sing a small Kabir. And how are we doing with time? I have no sense when I sing. So, okay. I'm singing for an object I saw in some other place, a beautiful deer with antlers, nearly 2,400 years old, of 3,000 years, I think 1000 BC or something. Awesome stuff. You should go to that place and see that deer. And it's got some red in its, I don't know, blood. What is it? This is for you, Linda. I didn't plan song is telling me to be careful when I roam into the forest of the raga. It's saying don't use something new if you're not used to it. The song is about being aware and being conscious of your limits and of the fact that this is a song about a deer that is being told, and the deer is us, of course. I'll solve the puzzle for you. Walking into all kinds of forests. So first forest is okay, the second forest is not. There are some hunters and there are 5 waiting for you. And you think, what are the 5 hunters? Linda will tell you, but we have little time. These 5 senses that we have, the 5 senses that we have are hunting us. So how do we, this is again a song about non-attachment. What the Buddha said, he says more sweetly, more beautifully, and without having to leave his wife and children and go away into the forest. So the raga thing also says, enlightenment can be through sexual awakening and through the body. So Kabir and others are yogis who did not leave the home. They embraced the material world and yet found the Buddha's message, so to say. And I'm trying to follow in that trail here. Or I met people who came after him first and then went to him. एक बार चरना दूजे बार चरना तीजे they'll flay you and sell your skin and sell your meat, eat your meat. So be careful. All the Buddha suttas begin with Evam mi sutam. Thus have I heard. So they're transcribed 400 years after his passing by people who made the Tipitaka, who make the canon, and these are scribes. They might have made mistakes, they might have added words, they might have removed certain things. They could have been an editor like me, being a busybody, saying make these changes, we don't know. Same with Kabir. It comes through many recensions through orality. So here Kabir says, Kahat Kabir suno bhai sadho, always. The equivalent of it. So he says, listen, and he says, thus have I heard. Right? And they are in dialogue. Thank you. I mean, it feels like it's a heavy silence that bearing in there. I'm honored by the silence you've offered me. This is the best compliment I can receive. And the ideas. And I was sitting here and thinking, because a manuscript is going to press, and then you're sitting, and these are the three people I've yoked together in this book out of no other business than my own. It's these 50 poems, most of which I sing in this. The word guru, I used to have a huge problem with it. How do you accept a guru? How do you fall at their feet? What is your loss of ego, if at all there is one? And I found a wonderful teacher in Ustad Vasifuddin Dagar, 20th generation singer of Drupad music. I used to sing Carnatic, gave it up, stopped singing for 16 years, and then returned to music with a Tanpura about 2014. Then I lose my voice, then I find my voice, then I find my guru. And then I was thinking of the word guru, and I was singing Kabir songs, and half of them have guru in it, at least the ones that I sung. So I said, chalo, and then some of them says, without a guru you can't get anything. So I used to learn that song, without a guru. Then the word becomes garu in Pali, and he is called Loka Garu. I mean, we have a terrible situation here of a Vishwa Guru in our country, but that's for another session. Let's not bring Besur stuff here. So the word sur, which means for me, that is the way in which you approach these subjects. So even I say kafir ko bhi khuda mil jata hai, agar Urdu mein batana hai. So, and the most iconoclastic guy is the most iconized person. The Buddha images are legion. That's why you have a, what do you call them? A horde of them here, right? You know, they've been hoarded down, up everywhere. And yet, he didn't, the first representations were iconic, if at all. And then I sing for a person like Ambedkar, the beam part, some of you must have thought, what is he going, beam, beam, beam. It's a beautiful song. If you just get that part of it is enough, but it has a political charge as well. So Ambedkar again is the most iconized figure of our times. We don't realize the mass production of images, which we keep at a distance from us. So this conversation I'm having with all of you here is hopefully towards a longer conversation which may be made possible by my friend Padma Dorje, who has invited me here, to think of a possibility of doing an exhibition, curating something here, which given my kind of inclinations these days will definitely involve music, getting the art out of this place, out to the people, because people don't seem to come to galleries. Galleries are places where sometimes I feel art also comes to sleep or die. It's only people seeing it, listening to these things, and wondering about them and questioning them more than anything. That is going to help us awaken. No? Thank you all. Jai Bhim to everybody. Thank you. So the last one was in a raga called Charu Kesi, picked up from a great composer called Kumar Gandhar. People think of him only as a singer. He was also a very good composer. The earlier stuff that I sang is all improv. There is no plan. I wanted to sing a longer lyric for Ambedkar, but that would have taken another 15. So the Buddha's words, again, we don't know how they were sung. But imagine something passed on for 400 years before it got recorded. It passed on orally. It gathered, it was moistened by the tongues of people. And Kabir inherits that tradition. He restates a lot of Buddhists and he mixes it with Sufi, he takes everything. The tambura is a very foreign instrument, let me tell you. Sources are Central Asian. It's called the tambur there. There's nothing essentially one thing about anything. Rag, Bhoop, you have your Star Spangled Spanner in Sarigapadasa, and Japanese do it, Indians do it. The Paleolithic flute in France is made of that. You should get a flute from France maybe. Keep it in your show. Thank you again. I can go on. Thank you.